you will end up having 49 lakh rupees after 10 years if you switch. If you don't switch, you will only have 41 lakh rupees. It means that you'll be better off by 7,24,000 rupees if you make a switch immediately. If you watch Hindi movies with double roles such as Chalbaz, Sita Gita, Kamine, Judwa, etc., you will notice that both the characters look exactly the same but behave very differently. Good behavior, bad behavior. Exactly is the case with mutual funds. So mutual funds, direct plan and regular plan looks exactly the same stocks, same management company, but they behave very differently. Have a look at this here on my screen. You will see that in the regular plan and in the direct plan, if you invest 25,000 every month for 30 years, same returns for 12% every year, you will notice that in the direct plan, it is going to give you 5.17 crore and direct plan is going to give you 6.46 crore, more than 1.29 crore rupees, around 20% more than the regular plan. So in this video, we are going to learn three things. Number one, what is the difference between regular and direct mutual fund with some live examples. Number two, how much will you be able to save by simply switching from regular to the direct plan? I have developed my own calculator that you will be able to download. And number three, which is when should you exactly switch from regular to direct plan? This video is not sponsored by anybody. You can be my sponsor by simply pressing the like button and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Let us now understand why direct plans are able to give better returns than the regular plans. So if you look at my screen here, I have filtered out by few mutual funds. So have a look at this one here, Canara Robeco Blue Chip Equity. This one is a direct plan and this is a regular plan. If you look at the expense ratio of both these plans, you will notice that the regular plan has almost 1.48% higher expense ratio than the direct plan, right? Now, because of this, what happens is the returns of the funds get very, very different, right? So if you look at the returns now, what you will see, let's go to long term here. And if you look at their 5-year return, right? So if you look at the 5-year returns of direct plan versus regular plan, you will notice that direct plan has given 15.14% annually and regular plan has given 13.84%. So that is almost 1.57% more returns when we look at the 5-year period. If you look at the 3-year period, then we will look at direct plan has given 18.46 versus regular plan has given only 16.69. That comes out to be 1.77% more given by the direct mutual fund plan, right? Now, the basic reason of direct plan giving better results is what we need to discuss. Let me quickly draw it and explain it to you. So the key difference between direct plan and regular plan is that in the direct plan, for example, you are a customer here, you will directly go and buy this mutual fund units either from the AMC or from platforms such as, for example, Zerodha or Grow and whatnot, right? So you're directly buying this plan from the company or the Zerodha, which is a zero fee broker. While in case of regular plans, what happens is as a consumer, you are going to reach out to some agent here in between and you are going to buy it through the agent. So because this agent is in the chain, what is happening is the commission of this agent, right, is getting added into the expenses of this AMC. Okay, so AMC is passing on this commission as an expense ratio to your returns. Therefore, the expense ratio in the case of regular one is high and the returns are low. Now, if you want to start fresh mutual fund investment, please make sure that you can do some research on your own. Therefore, you don't need to go to an agent and you can directly invest via a direct mutual fund because you are going to get better returns. Let us now understand how much money will you be able to save by simply switching from regular plan to the direct plan. You will essentially be falling into two scenarios. So scenario number one is, let us say you invested this money 12 months ago. So for example, if you look at this example here, let us say that you invested some money in mutual fund in regular plan in 2018. It might be 2019, 20, as long as it is 12 months ago from today's date when you are calculating everything. All right. So let us say that you invested 8 lakh rupees. We can change this amount. You can just use this calculator. You will be able to download it. Let me know in the comments if you want this Excel spreadsheet. I'll be more than happy to share it. Let us say now you invested 8 lakh rupees and you purchased at 45 rupees per unit. You got total 17,000 units. current NAV of your mutual fund is, let us say, 58 rupees per unit. So your total gains now become 2,32,000 rupees. So your current value of your investment is, let us say, 10 lakh rupees, 35,000 roughly. Okay. Now, if you plan to switch, one of the important thing to understand is when you're switching from regular to direct plan, the way it works is that you have to redeem your units. It means that your current mutual fund will need to be closed completely, and that money that you have, the profits that you have, the original amount you have, everything will then be reinvested into the direct mutual fund plan. So there are two things that you need to be aware. Number one is the exit load, right? So every mutual fund generally will have 1 year of exit load. There are few that have 2-year exit load. So please go ahead and check your policy. I am assuming that in this example, the exit load is 0 because you invested this money back in 2018, which is far back into the history. So it's not 1 year. So you would have already completed your exit load, right? So therefore you will not be charged for exit load. We will talk about scenario 2 in a minute, where you've done the investment within 12 months. Okay. In this example now, exit load is 0. The second component comes is the tax. Very important. In this example, I am only considering the equity or stock mutual funds, right? So the laws or the tax calculations for debt will be different. Okay. But for simplicity, if you have done investment 12 months ago, there will be a long-term capital gain tax that will be applicable to your mutual fund investment, right? The way it works is that long-term capital gain tax, the first 1 lakh rupee is absolutely free. You don't need to pay any tax on it. But anything beyond first 1 lakh, you will have to pay 10% tax on it, right? So in this example, your total capital gain was 2,32,000 rupees. If you remove 1 lakh from this, it will become 1,32,000 rupees. So I have done the calculation here, and therefore you will be having tax on 1,32,000 rupees at the rate of 10%. That will come out to be 13,214 rupees. So that is the tax you will have to pay. You don't need to immediately pay this. You will have to pay it when you file your income tax return. But for simplicity, I have assumed that this money is gone from your pocket immediately. All right. Now with that, your total profit that you had or capital gain was 2,32,000. But because you are paying now long-term capital gain tax of 13,000 rupees, you will be left with 2,18,000 rupees, right? And your original amount was 8,03,000 rupees. So with this, your total money that is ready to be invested is 10,22,000 rupees. If you switch, right? Only implication here is long-term capital gain tax for you, right? If you don't switch, you will continue to have this 10,35,000 rupees because you are not switching, right? Now comes the interesting part. So if you now move to the direct fund, put it into direct plan, and let us assume that direct plan grows by 17%, right? I have assumed 17% because simply if I compare it with the regular plan, I have assumed that 2% more is the return that your direct plan is going to give, which is very reasonable, which is very practical. If you go and compare the mutual funds, you will find the direct plan end up giving between 1.5 to 3% more than the regular plans, right? So in this calculation, 17%. Now, depending on your time horizon, if you are willing to keep this money for, let us say, 10 years, in both the examples, I have taken 10 years, you will end up having 49 lakh rupees after 10 years if you switch. If you don't switch, you will only have 41 lakh rupees. It means that you'll be better off by 7,24,000 rupees if you make a switch immediately. Right? And that is a huge saving as far as this mutual fund goes, right? Now, there are few variations I want to bring. So before I do that, it's very clear to me, if you are looking for a long-term investment and you think that your mutual fund is going to give you good return, at least 10%, 12%, 15%, it's no brainer. Please go ahead and make the switch immediately. If you're falling under this category of, if you have invested your money 12 months ago, because there is no exit load, right? However, if you see that here, let us now say this 10 year, if I move to 1 year, what happens? If you move it to 1 year, your only saving is going to be 5,000 rupees. Now, I wouldn't take all the hassle to go and do it. If you have to withdraw this money within 1 year, just you better leave it in the regular plan, withdraw all the money, pay the long-term capital gain tax, and do whatever you want to do with your money, right? However, let us just go back to say 10 years. If you're planning for 10 years, then your money is looking good. The next parameter that we need to consider is the percentage returns that your mutual fund is likely to give. Now, it is just a prediction or a projection, right? So let us say that if, let us say this fund is going to give you 4% direct plan and you get 2% in the regular plan, how much money you're going to save? You're going to still save 2,51,000 rupees in this example, simply because of the long-term investment, right? So the key here is that if you want to invest this money for long term, keep it in the long term, then you must switch immediately. But if you're only looking to redeem this money in the next, let us say 1 year, then please go ahead and just redeem this money from the regular plan rather than switching. Let us now go to scenario number 2, which is that let us say you've done the investment within the last 12 months. Okay, so here in this example, what we are saying is you have invested in a regular plan, 8 lakh rupees roughly, 45 rupees was the NAV at the time you bought it, and let us say you bought 17,857 units. Now you will see the difference between this scenario. In the previous scenario, we had assumed the 58 rupees as the new NAV because you invested roughly 5 years ago. So you will make significant capital gains in the 5 years period. Here I have only considered 47 as the new NAV because within the last few months, the NAV wouldn't go this high, right? So still you will make, let us say, 35,000 rupees as the capital gain. And the current value of your investment is, let us assume, 8,39,000 rupees, right? Now, two taxes will be applicable. Sorry, the two deductions will be applicable now. Number one is the exit load. As I said, most mutual funds have an exit load if you want to withdraw the money within the 12 months of your investment period. So in this example, you purchased, let's say in July 2022, and if you want to now switch to the direct plan, what is going to happen is you will have to pay exit load. Depending on your policy, it might be 1%, it might be more, it might be less. For the calculation purpose, whatever that number is, please put it here as 1%. I have assumed 1% here. Now, one important thing is that this exit load is applicable on your total current value, okay, which will include your original investment as well as your capital gain. So when you're exiting it, you are paying exit load on the total current value. Please remember that. So 1% of this 839,279 is 8,393. So you're paying 1% of that to the mutual fund company. The second deduction that will happen in this example will be short-term capital gain. So if you are withdrawing or redeeming your mutual fund investment within the 12 months period, then the applicable tax is short-term capital gain, which is 15% of your capital gain. So in this example, your capital gain was 35,000 rupees, and we are going to take 15% of that here, and that will come out to be roughly 5,000 rupees, right? So this much of money, that exit load will get deducted when you get moved to the new plan. The short-term capital gain liability, you will have to file it in your income tax. Please consult your income tax provider or your advisor. Now, with this, what will happen is your capital gain was 35,000 rupees, but you will end up reducing your capital gain by 21,000 roughly because of these two deductions that need to happen. So your original investment amount was 8,03,000 rupees. So it becomes total 8,25,000 rupees is your total take home now if you were to switch, right? Didn't switch, then it's 8,39,000 rupees. If we now interestingly assume that you want to now keep this money invested for the next 10 years, and in the direct plan, you're going to get 17% annually, and in the regular plan, you're going to get 15% because you will get less in regular plan. Your money that will grow in the case of direct plan will be 39 lakh rupees, and in regular plan, it will be 33 lakh rupees. So you'll be better off by roughly 5,72,000 rupees. So if we compare scenario 1 and 2, you will see in scenario 1, exactly the same numbers. Your total saving was 7,24,000 rupees, while in case of scenario number 2, where you've done the investment in last 12 months, you will be only saving 5,72,000 rupees, which is still a big amount, but less than the previous scenario, primarily because in this scenario, you are also paying exit load, right? Now, you might have a question that what happens, Rahul, if I wait for my exit load to become zero? Meaning, let us say I've already done the investment for last 6 months, 3 months or 9 months, and I have only few months to go. So maybe I'll just wait for the switch to happen so that I don't need to pay any exit load. Will that save you money or not, right? That's the question. So what we're going to do is have a look at an example here, exactly the same situation here. What I've done is I have taken this 8,25,000 rupees if you switch immediately versus if you don't switch immediately, what is likely to happen in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and whether you are going to be in benefit or not, right? So let us say at 17% rate, this money is going to become 9,65,000 rupees, and this money here, if you remain invested, then it is likely to become 965, almost the same money. Okay, so within the next 1 year, you are going to earn 1,40,000 in the case where you move, and you are going to earn 1,25,000 rupees if you don't move, right? Now, if you look at 9 months period, meaning to say, if you have 9 months to exit, you've been into your current investment only for 3 months, then for 9 months, you're going to earn, the next 9 months, you're going to earn 1,05,000, while in the case of if you remain invested, it is going to be only 94,000 rupees. So you're still better off by 10,000 rupees. What about if you have already been invested in 6 months now, and you've got 6 more months to go before you become, before your exit charges become zero? You're going to have 70,000 rupees if you switch, and you are going to only earn 62,000 rupees if you don't switch. So again, beneficial here. If you've got only 3 months to go now before your exit load becomes zero, in that case, you're going to have 35,000 rupees earned here, and while 31,000 in the case you don't switch. So it's still beneficial. What about you play with this number? So let us say that rather than 17%, your mutual fund is only going to give you 4% in the next 1 year and 2% here in this example, still beneficial. You might still say, Rahul, actually what happens if I don't have that huge an amount, right, as an investment? Okay, fine, let's consider that. So if we do that here, you will see that if you've already invested 80,000 rupees, you're still in benefit to immediately switch, right? Remember, exit load and tax is a very small portion of your overall returns. Therefore, I have proven with the numbers that as soon as you can move from regular plan to direct plan, please go ahead. No matter whether you've done the investment in the last 12 months or you've done the investment in the last more than 12 months. It's only the case that you need to ensure you do your numbers, put your calculations, and think about how much of hassle you're ready to take to move immediately versus wait for some more months, depending on the situation that I have described. Last thing that I want to cover is, many people have this question that, Rahul, if we go and upgrade to the direct plan, we are going to get less number of units. That is correct, right? So let us say you had 8,25,000 rupees if you were to move immediately. Let me just change that number to a bigger number here. Okay. So let us say you had 8,25,000 rupees. You had earlier 17,857 units, but now you're only going to get 15,576 units. Let us assume the NAV to be 53 rupees, right? This less units doesn't mean that you're losing money, because your investment still remains the same. Just because the NAV is higher, it doesn't mean you're losing any money. This NAV that is higher now, 53 rupees, is going to grow at a greater speed. So you are going to still get benefited by the compounding impact and effect, right? Therefore, please do not worry that you are getting less number of units. You are getting quality units, right? You're getting costlier units. Therefore, your units will go down, but your profits will still carry on going. I'm sure you will have many questions on this video. Please drop them in the comments so that I can go ahead and answer as many as possible. And if you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Keep rocking. I will see you later.